Hello, beautiful people. It's Cinderella. Welcome to the channel. Today we're back again with another video, and this is from Candace Owens and still on the Blake Lively and the Justin Baldoni situation. We're gonna check this video together. Grab your florals, grab your whatever it is, and let us check it together.
Truth is king, my friends. Christ is king. All right. So on Friday, we left you guys off. I was bringing you up to date on everything that was strange about Hugh Jackman. And I was genuinely so shocked when I got to the end of the show and somebody gave a question and said, ha ha ha, she keeps saying Hugh Hefner. I swore I nailed that. So I'm just going to go ahead and have to really blame that on late stage pregnancy brain, for which there was clearly no cure. But yes, regarding Hugh Jackman, I was kind of letting you guys know there have been some rumors for a very long time that don't look like they are just rumors. And throughout this series, I have been trying to, I guess you could say, find that line, carefully weaving through that line to kind of let you guys know that there may be some sociological factors at play here, that there's more going on emotionally with Ryan Reynolds than meets the eye, his various bromances, et cetera, et cetera. And the only reason that that's relevant at all, by the way, it's not like this is the 80s and someone's hiding in the closet. It's just because we're all very invested in what a lot of women are invested in here, by the way, is trying to understand the emotional aspects here. Why is he so angry? That is what was so shocking about being able to read these text messages. It was just his anger and the amount of control that he asserted. It felt like we were watching IDTV, like a murder mystery. We didn't know why Ryan was doing and saying the things that he was doing to such a nice person. We didn't understand the daddy issues. Now we know, but he's got all these daddy issues, but what's actually happening here? And why are all of these buried issues that he has culminating into what can only be described as a figurative drive-by shooting of Justin Baldoni, and Justin Heath? Okay. So we get it. Ryan is angry. He has been angry since he was a child. We had his teacher in Canada confirm that to us, that he was displaying sociopathic tendencies early on, allegedly. So I've been kind of slow walking you guys to understand that there could be a source of that anger. But I was trying to be nice. Women, we are naturally more compassionate than men on these things. But this husband on TikTok, he just sliced through everything with precision immediately. He's like, we're not going to slow walk people anymore. We don't need to slow walk Candace. He didn't say Candace at all. I just inserted myself in there, like I'm inserting myself in this lawsuit. But he's absolutely hilarious. I guess his wife was hunting him. He just looked into it peripherally and was ready to enter a verdict. So let's listen to what this TikToker had to say. His handle, by the way, in case you want to follow him, is Put the Dog on the Phone. Here is his assessment.
I can tell you what's happening here. I have the answer, right? Normally, this is not the sort of thing I would give two about, but every woman in my family is obsessed. So apparently, junior high kids, they've leaked all these text messages. And here's one supposedly from Ryan Reynolds. And what's that last line? What's that last line? Oh, he's gay. Oh, yeah. See, straight guys don't say that. Straight guys don't say that. And that's, I'm not some conservative and I'm like, men gotta be men. Just straight guys don't say that. They don't say that. And as soon as you look at him in that light, you're like, yeah. And on a side note, I worked in Los Angeles for years and spent a lot of time in West Hollywood doing jobs. Gay guys are great. I love gay guys. There's also bad ones because they're just normal people. I have zero problem. There's nothing wrong with being gay in any way, but he definitely is. Oh, he is. This is from 2017. So Ryan Gosling wins an award, and as a bit, Ryan Reynolds, Andrew Garfield. That's funny. That's funny to steal Ryan Gosling's little moment there. I'm willing to commit to a bit. An impassioned kiss? Okay.
See. I've seen a video, or I came across a video that talked about this, right? And yeah, lots of people have this speculation going on or flying around that maybe, just maybe, they are afraid because of the AEO protective order and attorney eyes only whatever with the text message and all that, the chain, just maybe, and the strong fight that they want to protect some of their text messages, not just the medical ones. Those ones we know are going to be protected, but they're talking about high profile people. A speculation, all of these are just alleged and speculations, right? It's going out like maybe, just maybe, they don't want people to know what goes on or what happens in the Reynolds relationship, right? Right? Because think about it, right? People have actually called their relationship to say it is weird because you see, like most of the time they work in trio, or sometimes they work in four. And there is the best friend from this side. There's also the best friend from this side. Now I'm not gonna mention the name, but you guys already know. So let us see. Let's just see. Let's see. But again, it is Hollywood, right?
As an award and as a bit, Ryan Reynolds, Andrew Garfield. That's funny. That's funny to steal Ryan Gosling's little moment there. I'm willing to commit to a bit. An impassioned kiss? Okay, Exhibit C. So when you get a beard, a woman that will disguise your gayness, going younger is better. Not only young, but objectively stupid. She's not very intelligent compared to him. He's very quick-witted. He's also very charismatic, like a gay guy. Gay men they have a light in their eyes that straight men don't have. We don't. There's a twinkle, okay? Gay men look like that. Spend enough time around them. I have great gaydar. Straight men look like that. And you might go, oh, look at his shirt. Oh, look at his hair. No, look at his dead eyes. Straight. Gay. So that's all that's happening. He's a closeted gay man. And that's just, when you deny yourself that truth, you're just going to do weird, crazy shit. And everyone around you is going to have a hard time because you're like trying to fit this square piece in a circle.
Straight men have dead eyes. There's nothing behind the eyes. And his assessment is that gay men have a twinkle. And it's what he's saying is what I was trying to introduce in a more polite way by taking you guys through these like lavender marriages that actually happen in Hollywood. I know they happen for a fact. And there's just something here, this underlying anger that doesn't make sense. The Deadpool scene was kind of just a little overdone for me. The relationship with Hugh Jackman was kind of overdone for me. And I just find it hilarious that this guy just looks at the circumstance, reads the messages, and is like, okay, I know what's going on here. And now, but instead we've got to go through this court case and it's got to be like $400 million and it's all crazy, all because Ryan is not happy with who he is on the inside. That's really what it comes down to. He is not an honest person with himself. And so he's just become a very vicious person who's lashing out in a variety of ways. That's what I would probably agree with. Anyways, I also just want to show you that because it's absolutely hilarious, but I also want to provide you guys with an update on a major piece of the lawsuit here. Let's not forget that the New York Times is being sued because a lot of important filings have been happening. So obviously they hit him hard, defamation, false light, invasion of privacy. I'm speaking about Justin's team when they filed that $200 million lawsuit against the New York Times. And in response, the New York Times filed to dismiss the case altogether, citing that they had fair reporter privilege. Okay. So what is fair reporter privilege? This is the exact definition so that you guys know. Fair reporter privilege, also known as public proceedings or public records privilege, protects news media from libel lawsuits when they publish fair and accurate accounts of official documents or statements that were made during official proceedings. Okay. So I would claim fair reporter privilege as I'm going through all of these Jessica Mann emails, the Harvey Weinstein series. I'm just reading from the actual filings, right? And so they're like, oh, that's all we were doing. We got the CRD complaint and we just, we want to be dismissed from this because we're just reporting the facts here. But Brian Friedman and co. argue back that the New York Times has completely abandoned that privilege. I just love this photo of Brian Friedman, by the way. Bring it back up. It's me. I don't know why. He says so much here. It's just like, it's not going down like this. So Brian Friedman's team hit them back pretty hard and basically said that they should not be dismissed. Obviously, I very much agree with them, having looked through everything. And I just want to tell you, I love legal filings. It's weird how much I love legal filings. Like, I read them before I go to bed. I probably in another life could have been a very good lawyer, or at least one who really enjoyed being a lawyer is what I could say. And it's just the way as soon as you read the first sentence of his statement, and I'm assuming Brian Friedman wrote this up, it's great. It's phenomenal. Listen to the sentence. A pietistic bastion of the media establishment, the New York Times has long presumed itself beyond accountability. Not here. A pietistic bastion of the media establishment, the New York Times. Like, why have I not called anything about a pietistic bastion? You holier than thou, New York Times. You have long thought that you were above, not here. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I am in. So they go on, and this is just the preliminary statement to call out the journalists who were involved in this, Megan Twohey. It reads, who co-wrote the article along with Mike McIntyre and Julie Tate, purporting to tell the world, quote unquote, what really happened, specifically that the Wayfarer parties orchestrated a retaliatory campaign to tarnish Lively. It goes on and says the press enjoys the fair report privilege when faithfully relaying the contents of a filed complaint. But that is not what the New York Times did. It admittedly based its article and video on its reporter's review of, quote unquote, thousands of pages of documents and expressly credited Lively's claims, framing them as having been verified by the New York Times' own investigation. In doing so, the New York Times forfeited the fair report privilege. So right off the bat, that is accurate, right? So when we saw this article in the New York Times, they were not just saying like, here's what she filed. It was like inside a smear campaign. And we're telling you that this has been all coordinated by Justin Baldoni. Like we've confirmed this because we read the messages ourselves. Okay, well, you want to play Sherlock Holmes, you're going to get sued like Sherlock Holmes. So it goes on page 2 to say the New York Times contends that the article and video merely reported facts, and thus the New York Times is shielded by the fair report privilege. Yet in the same breath, the New York Times also insists that its defamatory statements are not factual at all, but rather hyperbolic and non-actionable opinion. So what he's saying there essentially is the New York Times and their filing to be dismissed. They did things that kind of ran into each other. Well, first and foremost, they were saying, we have fair reporter privilege, but then they also argued that these were just opinions. Well, which is it? If it's fair reporter, that means you're sticking to the facts. And if you're saying that you were just being hyperbolic and it's not actionable, then that means that you were not just sticking to the facts, which makes their lawsuit relevant. Then they get into the background of the case. We already know that. That's all available for us to read through. He goes through that. But he speaks about how the New York Times coordinated the publication with Lively's filings of the CRD complaint on December 20th.
Exactly.
The article continues, the documents show an additional playbook for waging a largely undetectable smear campaign in the digital era. And as admitted in the article, the New York Times relied not just on the CRD complaint itself for reporting, but on thousands of pages of documents that the New York Times reviewed. Video likewise confirmed the New York Times statements were based on private text messages and other documents that the New York Times attained that revealed what really happened. Again, he is citing their own article, which says, we involved ourselves so much that we didn't just rely on a public filing. We also took a look at text message correspondences. Again, you're Sherlock Holmesing it now. You're looking at these private correspondences and you are reporting that to the public and not just reporting it in a manner where you're saying, okay, I'm going to be neutral and non-biased and just deliver the facts that this is a text message. You entitled the article inside a PR smear machine. And of course, therefore libeled Justin Baldoni and Heath. So
now they just want to get out. It doesn't work that way because from the get-go, they really wanted to insert themselves, and now that things get all hot or things is getting hot, they just want to excuse. Like, come on, guys, come on, because even the headline or the title, they practically were the ones that with the article, that was when people knew or realized that, oh, there's a smear campaign. There's a smear campaign. From where? How? And people started questioning a lot of things. But again,
there's no question here in my eyes, of course. That's if I'm the judge. And apparently, like I tell you, my lawyer keeps telling me that I'm not. It seems weird. Here's where you really get, though, to the meat and bones of this. First and foremost, his argument that he makes at the bottom of page 5 is we have met the legal standard here for this case to go on, meaning that we'd like to move now towards discovery. We've given you ample inferences here to let you know that we believe, including down to the metadata, which isn't even required, by the way. You just kind of need to make a slight inference that the court can believe, and then they'll let you move to some sort of like light discovery phase. He's saying we have provided so much, we have met that standard over and over again. But the meat and the bones of this is going to come down to jurisdiction, and both sides are arguing about this. Now, I have been sued for defamation before, and this is really crucial, actually, which state laws you are going to abide by as this case moves through the courts. And they're saying, we want this to happen in California. By they, I mean Ryan Friedman's team. They're like, we want this to happen in California. And the New York Times is saying, hey, we are the New York Times. This whole article happened in New York. We want this to take place in New York. And why is that jurisdiction different? So important? Because in every state, the defamation laws are different. So for me, I love being in Tennessee. We have very strong anti-SLAPP laws, as does California. They have anti-SLAPP laws. If you bring a lawsuit against me and I'm actually telling the truth, you're not just going to keep me hung up in court because you're going to have to pay for it. Well, he wants this to be in New York, and the reason why he wants that is because they're going after the New York Times for false light and invasion of privacy. California recognizes that claim and New York does not. So he spends a lot of time in here trying to assert why this should be in California. He also says that California extends no greater protection to opinions than the Constitution, whereas New York, it goes above and beyond the Constitution trying to protect these reporters who often engage in smearing. So that's why the New York Times likes to be in New York, because they lie a lot, and they lie so much that they sometimes get people put into prison. If you look at the Harvey Weinstein case, that's my view. point on how that went down with the New York Times. And so you want to be in a state that's even more favorable than the Constitution when it comes to your ability to defame someone. He makes a very strong argument. So it's going to be interesting to see which way the judge goes, because his argument that they should abide by California defamation laws is because, first and foremost, two of the corporations listed in this lawsuit are domiciled in California. So that's It Ends With Us Movie LLC. That is a Californian company. Also, the agency group PR. That's Melissa Nathan. He's saying that they all conduct business in California. We know this. The PR firms are all based in California. Those are his clients. These are the plaintiffs. And he is also arguing that, and he cites a lot of case law here, a lot of jurisprudence, that all of these people were harmed in California, obviously, right? It Ends With Us Movie LLC being there. Justin Baldoni lives there. Heath lives there. The PR agents work there. So when you harm their reputation, you harm their ability to work in California. And like I said, he cites a lot of case examples, which you have to do, which prove that the court has settled the matter and said, listen, if the punch went out in New York, but the punch was felt in California, then we're going to do this according to California laws. And that's what he is essentially saying. And he takes a look at the New York Times argument, and they're saying that the New York law should apply, obviously, because it was entirely reported from and conceived in New York. Brian hits back at that and says, no, you can't just say stuff. You can't just say stuff on the internet, okay? You can't just say what you want to say. We need discovery to prove that. We don't know who you coordinated with. We don't know where the article was typed. We don't know anything yet, and that's why we are requesting this limited discovery to go through that and to be able to determine that. So it's super interesting. Like I said, tons of case law. Moves on and just essentially asserts again why the defamation claim should not be dismissed. Hits hard at what it actually means, or what you have to obtain to be granted that fair report privilege, and again says that it's measured by the natural and probable effect on the mind of the average reader, meaning that if we read that article, did we believe that that was a fair and true report of the proceeding? Yeah, obviously people did believe that, because this is the reason why half of the It Ends With Us gang were like, read the complaint, because they thought it was true and it represented a fair and accurate reporting of what the CRD complaint was. And then it turned out that no, actually the New York Times completely lied to the public, included some other inferences, pretend that they had done the investigation and were backing up that claim, which ended up falling apart marvelously, obviously, when Brian Friedman then dropped all the text messages. And so that is what he is saying. A report is not fair and true, it says at the bottom of page 13, if the publication deviates from the judicial proceeding such that it, quote, this is again from another decision, produces a different effect on the reader. And that is what happened with the New York Times piece. It produced a different effect on the reader than if we had just read the CRD complaint, obviously. So that's really interesting. A big piece of this, obviously, I am invested. I want to see the New York Times go down for several reasons. Obviously, looking into this Harvey Weinstein case, now people are speaking about that. I actually just did Piers Morgan earlier today, and we spoke about it, and people are reaching out being like, I'm so surprised that like everything I knew about Harvey Weinstein case is not accurate. And yeah, it's the same exact reporter, Megan Twohey. And so I just feel like right now we're just in generation truth. Like a lot of stuff is happening. People are waking up and recognizing that a lot of people that have been smeared and libeled, we've given the press so much power to take people down absent any facts. And the Justin Baldoni case is not unlike the Harvey Weinstein case in that way. And in only that way, obviously. Justin Baldoni is a little puppy. And I would probably say Harvey Weinstein is not a puppy. He's not a puppy at all. But he did get taken down by the media beast. And that's what these two cases share in common. So I will keep you guys totally abreast on everything that is taking place with that lawsuit. And I will continue to ignore my lawyer, who keeps asserting that I'm not privy to that, or I'm not a part of the case. And eventually I will be. Eventually I will be walking into that courtroom one day, hugging Brian Friedman and Justin Baldoni and everyone, Melissa Nathan. And we're all going to be so happy when we win. It's going to be, I'm probably going to cry. I don't know about you guys. I'm probably going to cry.
Oh my goodness. Candace Owens is hilarious. But yeah, see, just imagine if not for the help of social media and independent media or independent journalists and all that, think about what would have happened with Justin Baldoni's career. Because before now, prior to this, people did not know Justin Baldoni was sent down to the basement, or the text message exchange that somebody asked Justin Baldoni to come to the trailer while they were pumping, or that somebody called their boss, or somebody wrote in the text message exchange, somebody called themselves a Khaleesi, and they have dragons, and they have little monsters of mine that are, of theirs, that are gonna be there, or that is there for them for better or for worse. Or somebody was pressing so hard to write a script and pressing so hard that a boss accept their work, that their husband also berated their boss or their boss was invited to their penthouse with their mega celebrity friend. Also, their boss was present in their office meetings or present at work while they were working, or I mean, their husband was present in the meeting with their boss or whatever. Like, we wouldn't have known all those tiny details. Or somebody said, oh, he told me it was hot, or he told me I smell nice, but only to realize that he said it smells nice. So I mean, lots of things about this case is an eye opener, and this is the reason why they sort of are coming after content creators, independent journalists, and they're trying to like jam heads together and all that for people to only or solely rely on mainstream media, the traditional media, or publications and all that. But again, just think about it. Just think about the possibility of what might have happened to Justin Baldoni's career if not for independent journalists, social media, or content creators. Think about it for a moment. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below regarding the relationship stuff between between Ryan, his other best friend, and the Khaleesi herself. Lots of speculations have been flying around, and even before now, people have been talking about it. And I guess we'll find out sooner or later, because obviously their relationship dynamic, lots of people have sort of said tended to be weird, and it is weird. It is weird. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.